the water use efficiency techniques in irrigated agriculture. These are techniques we have developed over time, and we hope the techniques can be adopted in expansion of irrigated agriculture, and especially in the expansion of irrigation schemes by NIB. We are therefore proposing a pilot project on one of the small schemes to see whether the technology could assist this country expand on irrigated agriculture. What is shower irrigation technology? As you can see, shower irrigation is the mechanization version of the manual sport bucket irrigation system. It is a closed low pressure, it is mobile, and is the overhead system. As you all know, sport bucket irrigation is the most efficient water use system in agriculture. No water is lost at all, because this is where farmers, peasant farmers rather, go to the river, they fetch the water, and they come and water the crops one by one. There is absolutely no water is wasted. So it's a very, very efficient system. And in fact, that technology by small-scale farmers, the peasant farmers, is what motivated us to develop the shower irrigation technology. We found that the farmers were doing one plant at a time, and we wanted to mechanize that so that you can do several plants at a go and save time and save labor and save energy. Because the sport bucket irrigation by peasant farmers is very, very laborious and tedious. So this technique of shower irrigation, it practices plant root irrigation. You just water crops where the root zone is. So you do not water crops in between the plants. And that's how you come to save the water. So basically, it was developed for spaced crops. If the spacing is, or let me say, the more the spacing, the distances between one crop and another, the more water you save. And the closer you are, you have planted your crops closely, you obviously use more water. Later on, I have a small case study I'll show you using data that we collected, we were given by CARI when they came to test this technology on its water use efficiency. Now, as you can see, Kenya is a water scarce country, so the technology was really developed to solve this problem of water scarcity, especially in the ASAS, and therefore the technology itself is a conservation agriculture technology because it conserves a lot of water. This is the kind of farmers I was talking about. You can see here the basin, the spot bucket irrigation kind of. Imagine now these people going all the way to the road to fetch water, that's where the river is, and then coming and trying to do irrigation. It's a very tedious exercise. And in fact, in a day, I don't think they can do 200 plants. But when this is a concept we borrowed and converted it to mechanization now. We mechanized this system where a lot of crops could be irrigated at once. I think now we go to, this is the technology now we are talking about. This now growing some maize. You can see the white stuff is where the water is coming through and is irrigating the maize in rows. So you have to plant your crops in rows for it to have efficiency. This you see here is where the water is. There's a reel here. There's a reel here that is unreeling as you go forward. And this reel is connected to the water pump in the river. So there is nowhere you are storing water. Water is being dispensed to the crops as it is pumped. And that's why you can do a lot of acreage within a very short time. What I meant by the other picture where we saw the people doing one crop at a time, here you can see you can do several crops at a time. You can see there is the people here, and there is another one you can't see on the other side. So that as they move along, they just water the crops at the plant root zone. So the areas in between the crops are not watered. And that's where the saving of the water comes in. This just when the maize is grown up. Let's go on. Yeah, go back there. No, the other one. Yeah, you can see now the height of the technology. The boom is adjustable. As you want to irrigate as close as possible to the plants when they are young. But as they keep growing up and getting tall, you go on adjusting the height so that at all times you are irrigating from an overhead position. This is the same thing. Now you can see the real proper now. This is a different type of crop now. I think that's the case study I have just given around. Just keep it today so that we concentrate here. And I'll explain everything there when we come to that place. So here we are planting watermelons. This technology can irrigate any type of crop that is grown. You can think of any type of crop, including rice, as we have been hearing. It would be very good, especially for Nerika rice that is planted in rows. Anything planted in rows, it will do. And even other things, as I will explain later. So you can see here it's very low because the melons do not grow tall. So you keep on doing the same thing, and that's the real. This now, what we have done is, as I've explained there before, the technology is manually operated, the other one. But now this one is, this was fully motorized. What we have done, the boom we saw on the manual one, we have attached it to the rail. We have connected it to the rail so that we can motorize it. You can do now as you irrigate. For example, this is a pineapple irrigator, and as the vehicle is driven along, it goes on doing the same work of irrigation. If I may explain here, this is the water pump, and this is the source of water. So you are pumping your water here, water comes, and these are several rows, and then when the water comes here, it is driven that way and that way. You can see now the water irrigating the pineapples there. So what is happening is, as the driver drives along on each row, by the time this thing is at the end, the reel, the pipe itself carrying the water, will be a lateral, kind of. It will be all laid on the ground. Then you go back now, putting it back as you go back now. So what will happen is, when you get here, you disconnect here, and you go to the next hydrant. You know, there should be a lateral here with hydrants. Now, this is the front view of the same technology, growing maize. The same technology growing French beans for export. Now, this technology can be configured to irrigate all crops. That's what I said earlier. Here, we are irrigating bananas. And what is happening is, although you can't see properly, this is the reel, and the same vehicle is moving, and the pipe is still whatever. But when the water comes now to the reel, instead of being overhead, because these are tall crops, what you do is you irrigate sideways. You can see now that the bananas are being irrigated from the side, and the same concept continues. These are vehicle for somebody growing mangoes, for an orchard of mangoes. It's the same concept. This for tall trees and for tall crops. It's the same concept. This one now is configured again for a coffee farmer. You can see now the water dispensers here are more. They are not in the dispensers are not in a line, so that you only irrigate where the coffee tree is. In between, you do not irrigate, and that's how you save the water. Now this one, as we were talking yesterday about producing hay, the technology can also be used for any crop, including dairy farming. You can see now, it just irrigates grass, and then the farmer can harvest it at his own time. The same concept. Now, this is a schedule I was trying to come up with, showing the categorization of irrigation systems. We have two categories here, category A and category B. And because we are talking about water use efficiency, on that side, category B, we have high water use demand, high cost demand technologies of the furrow, flooding, basin, and sprinklers. Those are water guzzlers. They take a lot of water in the irrigation schemes, as we have seen here. On this other side, we have category A, which are low water use demand. These are some of like the bucket, the spot and bucket for peasant farmers. As I said, it takes very little water. Then there is the shower technology, the one we have developed, and the drip. So this side, we have the low water use demand technologies. And in that, this one has its own disadvantages because of tediousness, it's tiring, and it's costly. It's labor intensive. The drip has also its own disadvantages because of the cost. Otherwise, these three systems, they work the same. The three of them save water, but they have their disadvantages and advantages. These are the attributes of the shower irrigation. One of it is water use, and as you can see, the shower irrigation in some evaluation exercise carried out by CARI, it was found out that shower irrigation, in irrigating 1 hectare, in a 10 days irrigation cycle, it used 171,000 liters, furrow used 562,000 liters, and sprinklers 566,000 liters. So you can see the ratio is 1 to 3 to 3. That's a lot of water. That's a lot of water saved. And as you have seen in the pictures, these crops they grow the same, but with the shower you save a lot of water. So you can do 3 times the land that you would do with these other two technologies. Now, another attribute of this technology of the shower one of the most costly inputs in food production and irrigation is pumping of water, the energy used. When KARI tested this technology, they found that for every 1 shilling used in shower irrigation, the farmer used 3 shillings 90 cents, and the sprinkler used 3 shillings and 70 cents. So there was a saving there of almost 3 shillings in between. So it's a very, from the farmer's point of view, you save a lot because pumping is a very, very costly exercise. Now, we are saying shower irrigation saves water similar to drip irrigation. There is no doubt about that. However, shower irrigation is cheaper up to, in our estimation, by over 70%. And I have a leaflet here from KARI where they are saying to irrigate 1/8 of an acre with a drip, it would cost 35,000. So, for an acre, works to be like 280,000. So to irrigate a large piece of land like 15 acres, because the technologies I have shown you, they have, the manual one have a capacity to irrigate 15 acres. So for drip, at this cost to irrigate, to irrigate 15 acres, you multiply 280,000 by 15 acres, and you see, I don't know how much, I think it's almost over 3 million or 4 million there. So it's very expensive. Drip is extremely expensive. So this is a low cost, the shower is a low cost technology, which we think will help farmers get along. Other attributes of the shower irrigation, as I have just said from the KARI report, is low fuel and energy use. What does that mean? It means environmentally is a very friendly technology because it does not burn a lot of fossil fuels, and it does not produce a lot of carbon emissions and contribute to climate change. The other benefit is that the less water the shower technology uses, the more water obviously is made available for other uses like sanitation and the livestock farmers. Now, this one is a case study I've given you, and if I just put you through very quickly. The case study is supported by a schedule that is attached over it from the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Irrigation before it was combined, and the report from KARI, the one I referred to, you will see that if you look at the schedule from the ministry, I have copied the figures, which are the bottom line, the 1,500 hectares, 414 households. Then I have copied the total of 707 million, and I have copied the average cost of developing the infrastructure per acre, which is at the end. Is the front line in my schedule. I've just copied them as they are. And if I start with the first column, you find that these are schemes that were implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture. There were 15 schemes in Eastern region, Eastern province, and they used sprinklers to implement. So these are actual figures. And in column 1, I'm saying cost of civil works and design for 1,500 hectares. That, if you convert with the water use efficiency given by KARI, or 3.2, you find that the same amount of water that was used in these schemes, and that's the important point, if shower irrigation had been used instead of sprinklers, the same amount of water would have been enough to irrigate 4,800 hectares. That is 1,500 times 3.2 factor, the ratio. And that's an increase in total Hapo below of 3,300 hectares irrigated with the same amount of water. In column 2, I'm saying the total cost of civil works and design was 707 million shillings. I am adding the cost, I'm estimating the cost of shower irrigation technology at 1.3 billion, 1.296 billion. Billion. That comes, if you add the 707, 857, 804 to 1.296, you get a total of 2,354. To irrigate now 4,800 hectares. That means we would have considered the farmers and you would have empowered them with the technology worth 1.296 billion to get the cost of 2 billion. Now, if you look up or below, to irrigate the same 4,800 hectares scheme using sprinklers, and you multiply the 707 times the factor, you get 2,264,000,000. That's what it would cost the government to develop 3 schemes of similar size. So, by doing the shower, if you deduct 2,854,804 above from 2,264,000,000, you find that there is a saving even after supplying farmers with the technology free of charge. The government would still save 260 million shillings. In column 3, I'm just showing that the average cost according to that scheme by Ministry of Irrigation was 471,653. The average cost when shower irrigation is introduced was 417,397, and therefore a total saving of 54,000 per hectare. In column 4, when the scheme was implemented by the ministry, the households benefiting were 4,414, and if you raise that by the ratio of 3.2, you get the number of households increasing to 14,124, which means there was an increase of 9,710. The important thing here is that all the 4,800 is done without any increase of water. And that is real water use efficiency in the expansion of that scheme if the technology was to be applied. Now, let's go to, I just want to, there's a schedule at the back, at the very back of that. Read it and see the efficiencies there, the amount of water used, as I had explained, the fuel, and all that is all recorded there in that report by Kari. But it's not a full report. I just thought of what was recorded.